welcome to another video. It's Summerween. So before I get started, I just want to give like a really quick flashing lights warning. My wiring is not very good and I haven't really figured out a good solution to that yet. So there's like very minor light flicking. I'm going to do my best to edit it out as much as I can, but just in case, warning. Anyways, it's Summerween. So Summerween is a Halloween themed readathon that's happening from July 15th to July 20th or 21st. I don't know exactly. And it's being hosted by Olivia Reads a Latte and Gabby Reads. So I'll have their announcement videos linked below. I'm so excited for the Summerween. I have so many things planned. So let's start with the prompts and I'll tell you like my TBR for this week. Prompt number 1 is to read a book at night or in the dark. Honestly, I'm probably just gonna skip this prompt. I don't really read in the dark or at night. Like I do the majority of my reading during the daytime. I don't know what's really classified as night. If it's night because it's after work and after dinner, then I guess that works, but we're pretty much going to skip this one. Number 2 is read a book with Halloween colors on the cover. And pretty much all of the books I chose have Halloween colors on the cover, so we're good. Number 3 is read a book with the word haunt in the title. I have 2 options for this. There's one that I'm going to start with, and then there's another one that I'm like kind of excited about, and if I don't get to it now, then I'm going to read it during Halloween. But the first one is called Haunted House by Jack Kilbourne, but he also goes by J.A. Conrath. And the cover that I have has this like orangey red and white coloring, and that's Halloween. Anyways, this book is not the first in the series, but I've read that you can read it outside of the series as a standalone. But it's about these 8 characters who are each paid $1 million to spend the night in a haunted house, and they can bring whatever they want with them. They just have to survive the night. And I'm like really interested in that concept. I don't think I've ever read a book like that before, and I love haunted house books and movies and stuff. I actually haven't read any haunted house books, but I love haunted house movies. Like those are definitely my go-tos because they're usually so bad and cheesy. So the second book that I might read for this is The Haunted House Forest Tour by James A. Moore and Jeff Strand. This one seems like so much fun. Like, let me just read the little blurb to you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Haunted Forest Tour. Sit back and enjoy a smooth ride in air-conditioned comfort as your heavily armored tram takes you through nature's most astonishing creation. The forest is packed to capacity with dangerous and terrifying creatures of all shapes, sizes, and hunger levels, and you'll get to observe these wonders in complete safety. And then it goes on to talk about all of the different monsters that are in the forest. And it's also taking place on Halloween. And that just seems perfect. Like everything about that just seems like so much fun and I really want to read it. But it's between 300 and 400 pages and it's a little bit longer. And for some reason, it's taking me forever to read like 100 pages. So if I get to it, I get to it. If not, I'll save it for Halloween. Prompt number 4 is read a slasher. This one I picked a fun little novella called Night of the Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones. This book is about a group of teenagers and one of the teenagers works at a like movie theater and the group of friends decides to bring a mannequin into the movie theater and do a little prank on the friend. And then the mannequin comes to life and starts killing everybody. It seems silly and fast-paced because it's only like 130 pages or something and I'm really excited to read it. Prompt 5 is make or bake a treat with your spooky read. I'm not sure if they mean like to make a treat that goes along with one of the books, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be making some kind of peach cobbler because peach cobbler reminds me of the fall because that's usually when I make it. So today is Friday and I haven't actually started on any of the books because I've been working all day, but after work I'm going to be running a couple errands and I'm going to be listening to the audiobook of Haunted House. Probably won't do any updates today, but I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning, it is Saturday. I didn't get too much reading in yesterday, but I did get about an hour into Haunted House, and the audiobook of that is like 8 hours. So far I'm having mixed feelings on it. So the first chapter was really cool. It like really brought you into the story. Like it starts with this guy that's in the haunted house and trying to survive the night, and it's really creepy and disturbing, and like there's this whole scene that made this very clear that this is an adult book and not YA at all. Yeah, like chapter 1, it's already gory and it's already explicit. But it really set the tone for the book and I was like really excited to keep reading it. But then all the other chapters happened. So where I am an hour into the book, it's like 8 chapters in, but you know, like audiobook chapters are like really weirdly spaced and labeled and stuff, and that's not how chapters really are. So I don't really know exactly what chapter I'm on, but audiobook chapter 8. So after chapter 1, the next 7 chapters we're introduced to the characters that are going to be put into the haunted house. And at first it was kind of exciting because we get to meet each of the characters in their own chapter, and all of them are traumatized and all of them have some kind of PTSD because they come from other books in the series that are also horror books. Like, they're survivors of their books. So this is like some kind of weird final girls club or something, you know, like Riley Sager wrote that book. I didn't read it, but like it seems like a similar premise. Anyways, somebody's coming to each one of their houses and knocking on the door and just completely terrifying them. But again, it's like exciting because I don't know what happened to them in these other books. And so at some point, like, it doesn't even matter because they're going to be going through some other kind of trauma in this book. But at the same time, it's really dragging. Like, they're going through each character and each one is traumatized, but you can only be at the same level of intensity of scaredness before it starts to get boring. And I don't think we're at that point yet where it's boring. But like, I want something to happen. Like, come on, we're an eighth of the way into the book and they haven't even left their own houses yet. Like, get to the haunted house, please. That's what I'm here for. Although I do believe that the whole point of this is for those people who read the other books. So this is like book 4 or 6 in a series. I'm not exactly sure because every website I look at says something different, but those characters from those books are put together in this book. And so like, I think that this introduction is for the people that read those books. Like, that's what I'm thinking, and since I didn't read those, it feels a little drawn out. So I'm going to try not to form too much of an opinion just based off of these chapters and try to wait to form an opinion until they get to the house. I'm really excited though. So I had some plans for today. Like, I wanted to go to the gym and I wanted to go check out the library that's in this new city because I just moved to this city. And I was hoping to find some kind of like spooky graphic novel or a spooky little novella that we can add to this little readathon. Like, I think that would be fun. But I woke up this morning with a crazy headache and it's only now just getting dull. Anyways, until this headache goes away, I think I'm gonna watch a spooky movie on Netflix.
Are you telling me that suddenly you believe all this?
I believe there was a cave full of skeletons on our land, Lisa. Is there a bad man down there too? Hell if I know, but I said we pack up the truck and we haul our asses out of here before we find out.
The only reasonable person in this whole movie. Okay, so I feel really silly, but I just watched that scary movie and now I'm like scared of my house because like there's nobody here making noise besides me and the cats, and the cats are like strangely really quiet and not moving around. They're probably like napping somewhere. But now I'm scared that my house is haunted, so we're gonna go to the library. I spent way too long at the library. I was there for like over an hour. But this library, it's so big and it's so much bigger than the one that I used to go to. And I just had to look at everything. Anyways, I got all these books. So I got 3 graphic novels and 1 just regular novel. I got Ruined by Paula Morris. It's like just under 300 pages, but it looks like it could be a quick read. It's basically about this girl who goes to New Orleans and becomes friends with a ghost. I don't really know much more beyond that, except I've had my eye on this for quite a while just because of the cover. Like, the cover looks like a spooky good time. So then I got Fangs by Sarah Anderson. This is a graphic novel about a vampire and a werewolf who are in a relationship, and it's like supposed to be like really cute, and I'm here for it. I mean, looks like really cute drawing, and I'm just excited. So then I got a Sabrina the Teenage Witch graphic novel. This one is Something Wicked. I used to watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch a ton when I was a kid, like the cartoon one, and then I would watch the like live action one. I can't remember any of the actresses' names, but like it was in the early 2000s, like that's when I was watching them. I tried watching the Netflix one, like the first season, and I just wasn't vibing with it, so I didn't watch that. But yeah, I'm excited to read the book. It's like all in color. And the last one I got is Through the Woods, stories by Emily Carroll. I don't know if there's more than one story in this or what it is, but it looked really like different, kind of spooky and kind of dark. This one is also in color, and I'm excited to read this one too. So before I went to the library, I put on like workout clothes so that I could just go to the gym right after I went to the library. And I still kind of have a lingering headache from this morning, but like it's not too bad. I just gotta go. I just gotta go to the gym, and I don't want to because I haven't been in like months. I just gotta go. It's not even gonna be that bad. Alright, it is Sunday. This morning, my husband and I went to this like little coffee shop and we got some donuts and some coffee. And then we went to this like little older part of town and looked at all of the old buildings and stuff. I was trying to see ghosts in the windows, but my husband told me to stop because he didn't want me to bring any home. Anyways, I didn't record any of that because privacy, but time for some book updates. So I am now 2 hours into Haunted House, and honestly, I'm not loving it. Like, I'm 2 hours in and we're still not even in the haunted house. Like, the characters are still being introduced. One of the last chapters I listened to was like 30 minutes of just like detailed background of the Butler house, which is the haunted house, because it's based off of a true house. And like, this is not what I wanted. Like, if I wanted to know any kind of true crime stuff, I would look up true crime. Or if I wanted like detailed history of like person to person who lived in this house, I would have looked it up myself. I was looking for a story where the characters are in a haunted house and they're being scared and their lives are on the line, and that's not what I'm getting with this book. 2 hours in and I'm not getting that, and it doesn't look like we're getting there anytime soon. So I'm putting this on hold for now. I'm not definitely gonna DNF it yet, but I'm reading other books. So I started and finished Fang yesterday and I love it. So this book is about the love story between a vampire and a werewolf, except it's not really like a straight through story. So each page is kind of like its own thing. Oh, I opened a scandalous page. It's kind of like what you see in like newspaper comics. So one panel or like 3 panels or something, and that's all you need to get the whole story of that page. It's really cute. I really loved it. I'm a little bit sad that I got this from the library because I want to keep it. So I'm not sure what we're gonna do for the rest of the day. I do plan to start reading Night of the Mannequins, the mannequin book. I plan on starting that one soon. But yeah, I'll update probably tomorrow. Good morning. It is Monday. I got my Scooby-Doo shirt on today. This actually glows in the dark, which is wicked cool because this is a hand-me-down from my dad, and it still glows in the dark like years later. Anyways, yesterday I started and finished Through the Woods. There are, I believe, 5 short stories in here, and they're all graphic novel style. I started reading this to my cat yesterday, and then he just didn't want to listen, but he wanted to cuddle, and then he didn't, and it was just a whole thing. So this was absolutely incredible. 5 stars. Like, I really, really loved it, and this is another one I wish I didn't get from the library because I want to keep it. It's a unique art style. It's not something that I've seen in other comics before, but to be fair, I don't read a ton of comics and graphic novels. It's different for me, but it may be common for somebody else. My favorite thing that she did is she used bold colors. So in the story, The Lady's Cold Hands, she really uses these like bold blues and yellows and reds. I just love it so much. Like, it's so in your face. Yeah, the story's called Lady's Cold Hands. It was just so good. So also, these spooky stories are obviously they're short stories, and what I love so much about them is the ending is kind of abrupt and it gives a lot for interpretation. So you can kind of decide how you want the story to end, and you can decide if you want it to have paranormal aspects or not, which I think is really cool. And the abrupt ending is so perfect. I feel like it's the whole point of the stories, really, because it leaves you unsettled. You want more, like you want more of the story, but the unsettled feeling is just perfect. It goes with the creepy vibes. I think my favorite 2 stories were Our Neighbor's House and A Lady's Hands Are Cold, like the first 2 stories. Those are like the shorter of the stories, and those ones leave more to like interpretation, I guess. I don't know, like the second story, A Lady's Hands Are Cold, I feel like it's pretty obvious what's happening here, but you can kind of decide if you want it to be paranormal or not, which I think is really cool. It's almost like that Gillian Flynn book, I can't remember what it's called, but it like leaves so much up to interpretation, and I loved that book so much. Anyways, I can go on and on about all the stuff that I loved from this book. Like I just have to cut myself off here because I loved it so much. Like I loved it. So today is Monday and I have to go back to work today, as one does on a Monday. But today there's supposed to be thunderstorms and I'm really excited about it. I'm hoping to like be able to read during the rain and the thunder and stuff. Like hopefully I'm not working throughout the whole thunderstorm, which I feel like tends to happen in New England storms. I don't know if this happens in other places, but New England storms, or at least Connecticut storms, seem to last for like 15 minutes and then they're over. I'm just hoping for a long thunderstorm today. So it is Wednesday and it's currently 100 degrees outside. So I set up this little pool in my backyard. Anyways, time for a little bit of an update. Monday and Tuesday, I did not do any reading at all. I was just taking a break, doing nothing. I watched a lot of TikTok. And I went to the gym again because I'm trying to set healthy habits. Anyways, this morning I started listening to Night of the Mannequins and I'm like 30% of the way through it and I'm loving it. Like I'm loving it so much. Sorry, there's frogs in this little pond over here. I named one of them Severus, but there's like 6 frogs in there that I've counted. There could be more, who knows? Anyways, so Night of the Mannequin started off really interesting. It's got this like fun little paranormal aspect to it, and it does an excellent job of capturing a teenage voice, which like a lot of YA books try to do teenage voices, and a lot of them do really well in my opinion, but this one really felt authentic coming from a 26-year-old. But I really enjoyed it. Like that's how I think, and it's how I used to think when I was like 16. So this book starts off with this group of 5 friends, and one of them works at a movie theater, and they talk about how like they used to play a lot as kids and they're still like a really close group of friends, and they found this mannequin in the woods and they played all kinds of games with it and all kinds of pranks with it, and as they grew up they kind of just like stopped playing with it and it just like sits in one of their garages, and they decide to bring it back for one last joke on their friend, and they like take it all apart, and one of their uncles like saws the legs in half and makes dowels so they can like snap it back together so they can like easily bring it into the movie theater because they can't bring backpacks. They're like laughing and joking and everything's like, they're like so excited for this prank, and they like put the mannequin back together and they like sit him up in the middle of the movie theater and they kind of spread out so it doesn't look like they're together for this prank. And one of the friends alerts management that there's like somebody being obnoxious in the movie theater, basically just so that, you know, there's somebody on the other end of their prank. And the manager comes in and starts checking everybody's movie tickets. And now they gave a movie ticket to the mannequin just so they could be like, haha, he has a movie ticket. And the manager goes through and checks everybody's ticket and then is like, okay, you're all good to go, and leaves. And they're all like, what just happened? Like, is the manager playing along? What happened? So they're like, okay, well, we'll just wait for the movie to end. And so the movie ends, they watch as the mannequin gets up and leaves with everybody else. So now they're trying to figure out what happened with the mannequin and why it just got up and left. And it's so interesting. Like, it's so good. I don't want to give any spoilers, but like one of the friends ends up dying. Everybody thinks that it's just a car crash, but our main character is thinking that it's the mannequin that's come back to kill them all one by one. And he's trying to convince all the other friends. They're like, I don't believe you. He's just a mannequin. Like, he's not gonna go through killing people. It's not alive. And it's so interesting and it's so fast paced and it's all around a good time. So actually I lied when I said I didn't do any reading on Monday or Tuesday. I also started Sabrina the Teenage Witch Something Wicked on Monday, I believe. Turns out this is actually volume 2, but they give you so much information in the beginning, and I know so much about Sabrina that I'm not really lost. Like, I know who the characters are and I know how they interact in their relationships and everything, so it almost feels like you're watching just an episode in the middle of a season when you just randomly turn the TV on, which is, it's fine. You know, it's fine for me. I kind of do wish that I picked up volume 1 just because I like to start from the beginning, but I'm not really at too much of a loss, I don't think, starting from volume 2. I hope my neighbors can't hear me. That's gonna be it for now. I'll update tomorrow. Alright, so it's Tuesday. The readathon ended like 5 days ago, and I just never finished the video. So here's what happened. I had this idea of like the spooky treat that I was gonna make, or a dessert that I was gonna make, and then I couldn't find what I wanted from the grocery store, so I decided to make something else, and then I procrastinated, and then I completely forgot I was filming. So here we are. I did end up making a dessert. I made this like Pillsbury box cake mix that was a funfetti Oreo cake. I'm not going to show you because nothing about it is aesthetic, but it was really delicious. Also, I ended up finishing Night of the Mannequins. I can't tell you how many takes I've had to make doing this whole vlog of Night of the Mannequins. I just get the title wrong every single time. Anyways, I finished Night of the Mannequins and ended up giving it like 3.5 stars. It just was not what I was expecting. So like I had this idea of what this book was going to be about, and then like very early on in the book they kind of make it clear that that was what they were trying to make you think, but that's actually not what the book was about at all. So I felt a little bit swindled because I wanted to read the book that I thought I was going to read, and I couldn't really appreciate the book for what it actually was. Also, I'm being very purposefully vague here because I feel like you should go into the book blind, not thinking that you know what it's about, because I don't want it to get ruined for you either. Also, if I give you even the premise, I feel like it spoils the whole book, you know, beyond what I've already told you. So I ended up DNFing Haunted House for good. I'm not going back to it. It's been like a whole week since I've read it, and I'm not missing it. I'm not like trying to get back to it, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it wasn't the book for me. I think that I just didn't have the right expectations going into it, I guess. I don't know, maybe it would have hit different if I read the other books in the series. I wasn't feeling it, so I'm not gonna read it. Also, I stopped reading Sabrina. It's nothing wrong with the book. I actually quite enjoy the book. I was reading that book for the readathon, and I'm no longer in the mood for that mood read, if that makes sense. I'm not gonna like officially DNF it. I'm not gonna even put it into my journal at all. I'm gonna just give it back to the library and pretend I never started it, and then if I happen to come across it again in the future, I'll pretend like I'm looking at it with fresh eyes. Except now that I will know it's volume 2 and not volume 1, so kind of fresh eyes. So I like doing these like Halloween themed readathons. They're like actually the only readathons that I do, except a Twilight readathon was just announced, and I think that I'm going to be doing that one. I'm not into the weekly vlog kind of situation. I just don't enjoy it. It's not me. I get so excited about a weekly vlog like in the first couple of days, but by week 4 I'm over it and I want to scrap it. I heavily debated just scrapping this video and pretending it never happened, but I'd already spent so much time doing it and I've already edited a bunch of it, so it felt like a waste. But yeah, I don't know, maybe it's just the way I'm doing it. Anyways, before I end this video, just like a little warning, I currently don't know what I'm doing with this whole YouTube thing, and I think I'm going to be taking a bit of a break, sort of. This bit of a break is just going to be me breaking from a routine, so I'm still going to be posting videos occasionally, but they're not going to be like every Friday. I just got like too much on my plate right now, and sometimes I feel like purposefully making videos for some of these books puts me in a reading slump because I'm like, can't read this yet because I have to do it for a video, but I don't feel like doing a video, so I don't end up reading it. But yeah, just, you know, little heads up. Anyways, I think that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!